what we started to do, because I think that these stories definitely deserve to be told, is we've started to interview our clients who've achieved absolutely phenomenal results. And to be honest, 90% of our clients achieve fantastic results, but Michael, without a doubt, is exceptional in results that he's achieved. Michael, you've been training with May for how long now, would you say?
It's about 9.5 months.
9.5 months. And can you give like a summary of what you've achieved with May so far?
I like to try and use the words we whenever possible, because if it wasn't for her injury, I wouldn't actually be here, because I've got the world's shortest ever attention span and I get bored very easily. But when I first walked through the door, I was probably the best part of between 125 and 130 kilos. For some reason she seemed to see some potential, and she told me, I think it was probably even on like the second session, that she could get me down to 85 kilos and get me with bigger muscles and overall fitness, and I thought that was absolute nonsense. I didn't think it was possible. But she said it would take the best part of a year. And that turned out to be almost perfectly true, because here I am 9.5 months later, I'm 88 kilos instead of like 125. Got muscles all over the place. And,
we'll put some pictures up.
Put some of the pictures up. Yeah. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's always varied. She's one of life's great characters. Every week, the training is different, but there's no doubt about it. It is brutal.
For May to have said to you that this is the kind of long-term outcome, and for you to have doubted that, there must have been some short-term factors that are motivating you. So what was motivating you, say, weekly or monthly, to carry on with the process?
Well, after I got injured, I still did loads of exercise before coming here, but my diet was rubbish. It was when I got injured and I didn't change my diet that the weight soared, and then I had that incident where I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. I realised that I was struggling a bit, into simple things like getting out of bed in the morning and walking up the stairs.
Right.
That's when I felt that it was necessary to do things. But the good thing that when you're that badly out of condition and you do start to combine your exercise with your training, that the results are pretty quick. You get your newbie gains, or what in my case was newbie losses. So the weight started to drop off quite quickly. And when May eventually took over my diet as well, which she didn't at first, that's when everything started to fit in nicely.
Why didn't she take over your diet at first? Did you find that was too much at that time?
I wasn't prepared. I'm an untrusting person. I just wasn't prepared to put all of my eggs in one basket until I was absolutely 100% certain. So initially when I came in here, I was a horrible person. You should tell me to sod off. I said, all I want you to do, I want you to train me. I'm not going to be measured. I'm not going to be weighed. Train me. And so I had somebody else that was doing my diet and was measuring me every now and again. But when I wanted to switch over from cycling targets, which I had, to getting my muscles back, that's when I thought, I'm going to hand over everything to May. And that was it. So we started. She knew that I was cycling long distances and walking long distances, which she doesn't always approve of because it can lead to loss of muscle. But the combination of that, plus the weight training, and plus the most important thing, the diet, that is when I started to really see and feel the benefits. The fat was just disappearing.
What would you say your lifestyle was like before you started then?
It was okay as long as I was active. When I got injured and I didn't change my diet, I didn't realise how bad my diet was until I started to discuss it with May. My idea of breakfast was, my breakfast was so big, I actually bought a dog's bowl from Amazon. I would put anything between 12 and 15 Weetabix in it, with half a litre of milk and 4 tablespoons of honey, because I thought I need all of these carbs. But I was massively overestimating the amount of calories that I required.
Okay.
I was probably on about 3,500-4,000 calories a day. Now I'm on 2.
Right. So your transformation, because you were doing a lot, right? You were still very active. A lot of it was about just making these small realisations about portion control, about where you should be getting most of your food from, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, what we've done is we've assessed the journey of quite a lot of other people who have made quite significant transformations, and they seem to all have gone through certain phases, most of the time psychologically. So I'm going to ask you is just a few questions as to what might have created this epiphany, So, first question, when people start to make a significant change to their lifestyle, a lot of the time there's an epiphany involved. So a moment of realisation that what you were doing up to this point might not be the best way forward. So what was your build up to that point in time?
Well, it was what really made me think two things. One of them was my weight, and two, it was a visit to the doctor, which was totally unrelated to health, but because I blocked up here has resulted in a quite extraordinarily high blood pressure reading. Then I realised that was pretty dangerous. I had a pair of 120 centimetre trousers and my waistline was just hanging over the edge of it, and I thought, no, this is now dangerous.
Okay.
And I wasn't exercising at the time due to injury, so I thought, I've got to do something about this now, otherwise I'm just going to end up, I'll be lucky to reach 60.
A lot of people would have just gone on blood pressure medications. Why didn't you? Why wouldn't?
I'm pretty bloody minded when it comes to things like that. He's had me on drugs before, he had me on statins and told me that I'd be on them for the rest of my life. I just threw them in the bin. I changed my diet and I was, my cholesterol, I think the last time it was measured was something like 3.9.
Nice.
He's had me on drugs for obesity. Now he wanted me to have drugs on blood pressure, and I just said, no, it's not necessary. He said, you'll probably be on these for the rest of your life. And I said, no, I'm not taking it. Pretty stupid thing to do. But because of the conditions under which they were taken, I just climbed off my bike after a 15-mile bike ride, in freezing weather, and my blood pressure was taken within like 5 minutes. Thankfully, it wasn't as high as he said, but a couple of weeks later it was measured again and it was still not perfect. It was still in like 140, which isn't ideal. And that's when I thought, I'm going to have to do something about this. I didn't feel that at my age I could do it on my own, or it wouldn't be very wise to do it on my own. That's when I started to search around for a personal trainer.
Nice. How did you notice that your beliefs? How did you notice that your beliefs towards yourself and your behaviours changed? So it could be, for example, you started to view food differently. You started to view exercise differently, or view yourself differently. Did that change at all for you?
Food was in control of me, and now I'm in control of it.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at yourself in the mirror and you start to loathe yourself, you're thinking, I can't do this, what's the point? I just might as well, go up the cafe and have a massive breakfast and then, all kinds of tuna mayo, crisps, chocolates. And you just get trapped in this vicious circle.
A lot of people worry that they lose pleasure over their diet, they lose enjoyment from their diet. Okay, so how does that differ for you?
Well, when I first got my diet sheet from May, I was absolutely horrified. She said, I'm going to do this diet sheet, there's more, you will follow it. And the thing. And I was just dreading. But great porridge. I absolutely love porridge.
Yeah.
I've got no problem with that at all. It was turkey, chicken, tuna, obviously without the mayo and all this other associated bits.
Yeah.
Pasta, brown rice, small amounts of bread, almond butter. What? Almond butter on my diet.
Mate, Michael's just talked about how much he enjoyed the diet that you put him on.
You're welcome. Anytime. It is so good.
The only thing was that I struggled with was the vegetables. She gave me unlimited amounts of vegetables, and that is a struggle. Initially I was mixing it with cottage cheese just to make it palatable, but when she found out that, she went mental, so that had to stop. And then I gradually converted myself to eat, like tins of what's that green stuff that Popeye takes?
Spinach.
Spinach, yeah. Take green tins of spinach. So every other day I'll swap all my vegetables and just have spinach instead. So the diet is more than sufficient.
Okay, good stuff. And you still enjoy it as much as you were previously?
I haven't grown bored with it, but
Yeah,
I have lost, the one time I have completely taken leave of my senses and did go into the cafe for a massive great big fry up like I used to have. Just didn't like it anymore.
Yeah. Mate, when you do have clients who start to get a little bit, because one thing you should know, May's a trained professional cook, professional chef. So when your clients do sometimes get bored of what they're eating, how do you spice it up for them? How do you change things for them?
You reintroduce different ways of preparing the food, adding different spices, so let's say somebody is literally just only having egg whites. and they're literally just having scrambled egg whites and they're getting really bored of it because it is egg whites, then all you need to tell them is, well, why don't you just make an omelette out of it?
Okay.
And you change the way you prepare it, even though you're having the same amount of calories, you just have it differently with different spices. So technically you could be having chicken 3 times a day, every day, but as long as you use different spices on each of those, it feels like a different meal. If you bake one, if you steam one, and if you dry fry one, you're going to have different textures, you're going to have different flavours.
Same calories.
Same calories, different palate. Completely different.
Sounds good. Right. So, Michael, another thing, I know that, mate, you've got a mantra, haven't you?
Huh?
What's your mantra? Mantra's like something that you say to yourself every day to get yourself
Well, you
going.
know mine, I sent you what I used to do. I used to have my stickers around my door.
Yeah. So a lot of people have a mantra or an affirmation that they will say to themselves to keep themselves going. So it could be, for example, like pain is temporary, glory is forever. You can do this. Have you got a mantra that you like to tell yourself or live by on a day-to-day basis?
It's probably second sucks.